Hello everybody and welcome to this Bounty Hunter match replay analysis. This game we're going to be looking at one of my replays, playing the Australian server. It's a pretty decent MMR average. We got some really good players. This team has a Divine Elite 337. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if these rankings include Southeast Asia. I'm not sure if they do. I think they do. I think Australia is part of Southeast Asia in those leaderboards. Anyway, so the Limited team has got 2 ranked players. I don't know what's with this guy. For some reason, it's not showing the heroes, so the heroes are just here. I'll show the graph just before we get right into it. So it's relatively even overall, and then we have a surge, and we surge into winning the game. It's a bit of a messy game. It's a bit of a it's not a classy game of Dota 2, but I would classify this one still, despite the early game being relatively even, I would classify this as a stomp. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this game, I'll say it probably 10 times during the course of this video. A stomp is not a one game until the Ancient's gone. You play until the end, even if the enemy doesn't play as seriously as they could. Anyway, this is pubs, so we get right into it. First thing you want to do in every game, especially as Bounty Hunter, is assess your lanes. Assess what you want to do, what your maximum impact is going to be throughout the lanes, and then as the game goes. So in an ideal situation, of course, you win 3 lanes. Reasonably, you want to win 2 lanes. You want to win your safe lane, and you want to win your mid lane. Traditionally, third lane, off lane, it's bonus. So this game, I have what you call a dead zone carry, which means he is really hard to shove out of lane, can trade really well, really hard for the enemy to gank. The enemy have one of those too. Both of these heroes have magic immunity very early on. So the only really vulnerable lane, or the only gankable lane, is this mid lane, and it's a really, really gankable lane. Neither of those heroes have mobility. Both are pretty momentum based. So that's the lane you want to be in, and that's where me and Potom are going to be in. So, what you want to do at the horn is contest runes, right? So scout out as the mid lane rune, the off lane rune is like your stereotypically your highest impact. So we don't get a kill here with boots, but we shove them off the rune, so we even it out. And then I'm straight off the mid, and the Potom will do exactly the same play. There we go. So with the mid blocks, it's a bit of an awkward situation. First Tinker gets a really good block, and he pops his sentry right down. So he's probably doesn't need to do that considering the block, but he's established his lane. I've seen that because of the ward and my positioning. So I'm now making a move to go to find this Mirana. We can't harass, so I'm just going to try to find this Mirana so those arrows don't hit. Fortunately for us, Potom arrows twice and hits creeps both times. So what that does is push the lane towards us, right? And with the lane push forward, the sentry is exposed, immediately jumping on that. Now the Tinker's vulnerable. Trade with him a couple of times, don't take too much harass. But with this, normally what you'd want to do right now is leave and go find Mirana or something, and let your mid hero, especially a hero as level dependent as Invoker, let that hero get all the levels. Don't take as little as you can. But as you'll see here, the Tinker plays super aggressive, right? He's got really good base damage, denies both these creeps. So what that means is that an opportunity for me to harass him, right? He's basically under tower. He is under tower, so it's an opportunity to harass. I try to get the extra shadow hit off. I don't. So whether by coincidence or intention, Invoker has stabilized the lane. Check this out. Alright, it's not bring it up. Alright, anyway, he's just taken this lane at the absolute edge of tower range, which means if this guy wants to contest creeps, he has to walk up. It's not going to push. Invoker's going to hold it there. So Potom is showing in top right now, which means This Tinker is all alone and can't get the creeps. He doesn't have the discipline, probably, to sit back, and he walks up. Doesn't walk up too far, barely under river, but it's enough with a cold snap and a sunstrike. And that's really, really good for us. Unfortunately, Axe is copying a lot of harass, but you know, it happens. I think he gets arrowed here from high ground. So he runs towards me. We're not able to save him, but that's still a good trade for us. Even though Invoker didn't get, he still wasn't able to see us under tower. So Tinker's doing alright despite the pressure. Yeah. So I'll just replay that. So you don't want to reveal yourself, but because they've separated, and Rubik does have dust, so I'm very careful about this. Because they're separated, then and only then you can really harass. Maybe they make a telekinesis play, but after harassing, job this game is defend against Mirana bottom. Defend and win mid as much against Mirana bottom. So straight on, I've seen him just get the last of that Invis rune, Fade Time. So the Invoker player knows bottom's there and doesn't do what Tinker did, doesn't walk up. Now bottom's straight out of lane, and is straight out of lane to go for this Skyrath. So good plays to him. And catches this sick arrow. As Tinker us for stacking neutrals. So as bounty, you can't prevent everything, but you can do as much as you can. So at this point, at 3 minutes, I've used both my clarities, right? Used all my resources, and that's mainly because of the way I use my clarities. I think I got maybe 100 mana or 150 mana in total out of them, because I use them immediately to give me more like a mango than anything for a Shadow Walk activation. And that's okay. What you do is you just buy more clarities. You buy them with your boots, you buy them with your obs. It'll work just fine. So Axe is having a bit of a tough lane, but that's fine. He's getting levels. Dragonite, a bit of a similar scenario. Getting beaten, but getting levels. So the bottom again. I'll show you this actually slow. So the bottom. We'll go back again. Bottom again has an attempt on Invoker. I've been stalking him, so the Invoker doesn't get hit, but he gets the creep. Which again pushes lane. And then TP's out. So Mirana's again kind of abandoned Tinker. And that's another opportunity, and you've got to make the most of your opportunities. So Tinker at this point probably thinks to himself he can't get out, so he's going to man up with March. But our Invoker plays it really well. Stands outside of March, and we get another easy kill. So at this point, Tinker is really unhappy. He's very annoyed at this bottom player right now. So what he does is he doesn't go back mid, he goes up top. And that's fine because there's no real lane for him to go to. Try to get something on the axe. I have got the rune. So the Rubik isn't able to participate in the game. It's probably a dead axe if the Rubik is there. But a bit of a mismatch in timing for him. So yeah, just pause one moment. So at this stage of the game, my goals have kind of been achieved. We've won the bot lane, and we've won the mid lane. So I'm naturally drawn to the top lane now as the only other lane. And possibly, you just want to get that ticket another time. And we almost do, if I don't inadvertently block the axe, or if he maybe runs around. But as it is, doesn't work out, and we overextend. There's a lot of small little misplays. Charlon Kwa will call them feed plays, pretty accurately, pretty fairly. And that's just the nature of Dota. So at this point, new goal is to assert map dominance, right? The lanes are won, the heroes are in a good position, so now you want to stabilize that. The enemy team have got some okay wards, and we need to get some good wards too. I probably should use Shrine, but I'll go back to base. That's probably a suboptimal play. So the wards that I want to get right now are to protect the Nex and to protect the Axe. And I'd probably use my hero mid if the Jug wasn't there. They swap. They swap to protect the Tinker top lane, which is a good play from these guys. So right here, I've placed this ward, right? This happens a couple of times. They see me with the ward, but you can tell because of the movement. Because of the movement of the enemy. When you play Bounty especially, you'll learn to read that by their movement. There is a bit of all chatting going on this game, so don't worry too much about that. Yes, there's no real kill potential, there's no real push potential, even though we've got there probably is a little bit of push potential, but DK is still a hard kill. So we're rotating elsewhere. Again, hard kill here. And Invoker is farming jungle. So at this point it's a good opportunity to show some good and bad farm distribution and Bounty Hunter's role in farm distribution. And why is more gravitated to a 5 over a 4. So bot lane we're farming with a carry. Mid strong, if he was an SF or Invoker here, you know, rotates into jungle. One of the supports can take this mid lane, and the Axe is struggling in a multiple hero lane, so he's gone to jungle, and that's fine. So as a bounty, typically the other support would ideally have wave clear, and you're the guy that, because you don't have wave clear, that can roam around. So what you do in that sense is to continue to look for kill opportunities and try to prevent kill opportunities. So again, it's you know, finding their roaming hero, or in this case it's a Rubik, finding their wards, playing around that. So again, I think I'll walk through here, you know, unshadowed, and I'll do the same thing here. Again, I'm going to replay this in slow-mo, just so you can see what I'm talking about, because this is a more obvious example of reading enemy vision by the movement. So I show right about now, and I start walking away to go into the Roche pit to shadow walk. So I see the Rubik walk over, right? The Rubik is immediately gravitating towards me, which is like obviously showing his hand. So he's got dust, and he's waiting for backup from Miranda. He's told him, hey, Bounty's here, come kill him. And the Miranda's got a sentry too. So I'm pretty scared. I want to be mid, because it's hard to kill this Axe. Sorry, hard to kill Tinker with Axe and jungle. I want to be mid, but this is a real danger zone right now. So there's a ward out from Rubik. He's under a ward, so we should be fine, right? Nothing should happen from this, but unfortunately it does. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I'm way out because I'm scared of their vision. They get a telekinesis with the boots, and Invoker cops everything straight to the dome. We could leave this here, right? One for nothing, but we commit for Jug, so we really want that Jug kill. And the healing wood just gives him enough, and I'm super sad. But right there you see the problem with Bounty Hunter, facing up a real carry. Bounty people get fooled with these thinking they're attack steroids, but they're just not. They're nuking steroids is what they are. You don't get repeated damage, right? If you're a carry, you have repeated damage, or you have ridiculous nukes. But these are non-scaling, burst nukes. So once I use that Janata, I do 20 damage to this guy with each subsequent auto attack. Anyway, so that's problem with scaling bounty. Anyway, especially because you're typically underleveled. So we've gone top, right? Again, pause here. Again, bot lane's doing really fine. Bot lane's absolutely fine. Mid lane, mostly fine, right? So the other one that's not fine that we could use some ward on is top lane. And that's where we find this next objective. It's not a tower, it's not Roshan, it's not heroes, it's a stack. It's a huge stack for Tinker, right? Who's tilted out of his mind and is going Midas. So I don't know if they've got sentries, and I think they have. I know they've got dust, so I have to be pretty careful, right? We put a ward up here, seeing tower rotations, seeing a little bit of jungle. It's okay. So yeah, they want with the 4 levels, they want this much. They want to push out the wave, and that's what they're waiting for. Push out wave, and then try to take. They're probably yelling at each other on mic. I don't pay too much attention to that. Anyway, so talking to our teammates, our wave is pushed out. This is a big stack. We can do a lot of damage here. And the next is TPing. You've seen the stack. Wants in. They should have a ward here. The enemy is really bad with their warding. They should have a ward, and they should have a sentry for this kind of objective. They don't. We get the initiation, and we get Tinker, and Tinker was tilted out of his mind, and now is tilted out of the universe. And this is something that is not completely unusual. Bounty. I say every 15 to 20 games, if you play it right, especially against a mid-hero like Tinker or SF that wants a good start, and yet he's still vulnerable, you're just gonna, some guys are gonna snap. He had a bad day, he's gonna snap, and he's gonna say, ah! Right? So after that, I think he bought like 10 friggin', 10 sentries and shit. Jug picks them up, unfortunately for us. Tries to feed career. But yeah, he plays seriously, so the game is like still on the line after this point. But yeah, so this game is still... this game is both typical and not one. It's not over. So you'll see more of that, and I'll talk more about the game progresses. So right now, we're back to farming. Right, we're back to farming. So we're farming here, and we're farming here, and we're farming jungle, and we're farming. I've TP'd to defend bot lane. I can't like fight this guy. I can't do anything but pull the creeps off tower, as I'm a bounty. So what should probably happen is Skarath just go to mid lane, and then we're like farming 5 places at once, maximum efficiency. The enemy team can't really gank, so it's fine. Unfortunately, Sky makes a bit of a greedy play, goes to take bounty runes away from the enemy. Very quickly, finds himself surrounded by 4 heroes. So cue the Benny Hill music, and we're strap yourselves in, we're in for a ride. Meanwhile, you see again another creep waves here. This one's a catapult, and you see really pertinent. I think this was like 400 health maybe. Bounty can't defend towers, can't push lands. He just can't. He can deny, very fortunately deny towers. So yeah, we're up to 11 minutes now. You know, despite this Tinker really having a tough time, the enemy's still doing alright. DK's kind of come back from, you know, Sky and I rotating. Jugs actually had a perfect lane, 3-0-0, 50-60, almost perfect. And the supports are doing pretty good, you know. Mirana's taken a lot of Tinker's farm, Rubik's 4-1-3 is doing just fine, so the game isn't over. Yeah, so at this point, we're going to... I'm actually going to pause here. They've just killed the Rubik with revealing the 10-minute Blink Dagger from Axe. I think he got most of the gold from that big stack. And he's done very well for himself farming jungle, just been efficient. So he's come back really good, and this is what you want from that offlane, that classic offlane, the ability to come back, farming jungle. And that's enabling us to, I think, yeah, he's got the lifesteal inside us. So with all the map pressure that we're putting out right now, dead Rubik, Jug is TP'd bot, TP on cooldown, Tinker's effectively knocked out of the game. They've got like 2 heroes. So normally this kind of simultaneous diving towers should never ever work out. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. So the next question for us is, and a question that's going to be asked of us the entire game is, can we transition these kills into towers? In this case, in mid, we do, but at a cost. And in top, we do get the tower. So unlucky bounces for Skyraf. They all go mid. I eat this arrow really sadly. Just replay it. I get caught by surprise and I misjudge the flight of the arrow. So yeah, this death right here is just another reminder. Yeah, this death is another reminder that feed plays sometimes just happen, shit happens. You can't ever take a stomp completely for granted. Even if you've seemingly done your role, you may not be up a kill in net worth, you may not be up in effective power. So right now at 13 minutes, I'm actually having a pretty rough game level-wise bounty. There hasn't been a real opportunity for me to sit in a lane, and I haven't been part of a whole lot of kills, only 4. So I haven't got a heap of experience. So in a good game as bounty, you have your... In a really good game as bounty, you'll have your 6 before 10. In a good game as bounty, you'll have your 6 at 10 with a tome. In a rough game, maybe 12 in a super rough game. You know, even later than that. So, where are we? 14 minutes now. I'm back in the play perspective. So Tinker's a bit tilted. I think he just got caught. Yeah, he did. He just got caught and he said, "Ah, fuck." Axe is being smart, holding call. Nice. Yeah. So at this point, again, you want to just control the map a little bit. Oh, they saw that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Or not really. Okay. Fucking. There we go. Ooh. So at this point, you want to establish map control, right? You want to set up your ganks. You want to set up tower pushes. So we're making a double value play here. This is both a warding mission and a ganking mission. So when you're doing that, you know, you can get wards. This is what Bounty Hunter excels at really well. You see the best wards that these guys can get, the deepest wards here, are like at the edge of river and at the edge of river again. This is a ward that they have absolutely no idea that I've been here. They have no idea that the ward is there. But it's in a deep, good place, covering towers, covering that camp, covering shrine. From here, we know that they've got to be down, but they're not top. So make a good call with that invis vision, get the jug, really nice place. And the jug is the kill that we needed. Here's the guy that's threatening to snowball away. Yeah, the kill threat between Skywrath and Bounty is super nice. It's super nice. So yeah, Rubik stole my invis there. Good play from him. He gets the axe here because the axe doesn't hit my call. That Rubik did steal invis. You want to, when you play against Rubik, you want to make sure every time that that you're careful about giving him track, because that can not only screw over you but screw over your team. But yeah, you got to give him something. Anyway, so again, we've hit another point. With this, when you're going tranquils, even though I've got, you know, raindrops and wand, it's not enough to sustain organically. The best thing you can do is get clarities. They're cheap, they're efficient, and most importantly, they keep up your tempo. That's the thing you got to pay attention to. How much tempo does it give you, right? If I didn't have that clarity right there, would I have been able to go help the next? Probably not. If I didn't have a clarity, 2 clarities mid, would I have been able to impact the mid lane? Probably not to the same degree. So that's why I really like tranquils and clarity. I think they're the most efficient and fast pace you can play at. So where are we now? Again, we've got some okay wards, and we're looking to go more. The enemy has a lot of sentries, so I'm trying to be careful. You know, this spot right here, death trap. This spot right here, death trap, right? They're really common spots. So we'll take it a step back. So they're diving top. This guy's got a haste, doesn't show, but he's got a haste with about a quarter duration left. I've TP'd in just because I think they might do something stupid. And I've seen the Rubik. This is buggy because I'm going back and forth, sorry guys, but I've seen him walk up, so we know immediately that these most likely put a ward there. Well, that's like, this is the difference between warding with a Rubik or a traditional support and warding with a bounty, right? When I put this down in most, like basically the same spot, the enemy has no idea that I've been there. The enemy has no indication. I haven't given them a trail unless I've walked through walls or something. But when the Rubik does this, he does it from he doesn't do it from invis, and he gets seen on the way out, right? So immediately, if you're paying attention, you can get a vision advantage, right? I say that even though I'm tracked. Those bad men. Yeah. So we're able to win this fight, and we're able to win this fight basically because we can bring more heroes than the enemy, right? We're able to bring more heroes than the enemy because of lane pressure right now. So when you see people talking in Dota about knock-on events and snowballing effects, this is what you see. The Tinker doesn't have travels, he can't push lanes. When we don't have to defend this lane, so we can be anywhere we want, which means we can be in this lane. We can be anywhere because we're not forced to be anywhere else. I've said that in a very convoluted way, but the basic thing I'm saying is, you know, if you prevent the enemy pressuring you, you can pressure the enemy twice as much. So, yeah, we're going to move on from that now. So I've walked around here. Again, we don't have to deal with any lanes, so after that engagement top, we can just continue chasing, right? This Skywrath can farm top, because he doesn't have anything else to contribute, whatever. We don't have to go back to this lane, because we won mid. So we can go in here. Now, I get really fortunate with this Sentry Ward. It's not showing, but it like cuts off at about there. A lot of the time, the enemy will have the Sentry Ward here, and it shows both here, but I get lucky. It also doesn't have a obs there, so Axe can just walk up. He's got the Nax inside him. So, these guys are having a discussion, I'm sure, and they get caught out. Easy kills, really, really good. Couldn't be more perfect than that. He's been absolutely toxic. This is, again, you will make, people will literally crumble under, metaphorically crumble under the pressure that you put out as bounty. This is something that's worthwhile showing because of that, right? This isn't a trash game because people are raging. It's a raging game because they're crumbling under the pressure that you put them under. And I say that because it's a pattern. It just happens again and again and again. And mid players especially, prone to tantrums, as any player will tell you. So this is a really good couple of kills, and it's a good couple of kills because we can now capitalize on this lane pressure top, right? Skywrath has been pushing this out. We can now go straight into an objective. Really good, even though they defend. But the basic idea is that's when the push is really good. I think I was about to refer to earlier in the video, I'm not sure if I did. I was referring to the question that we're asked as a team. We get kills. We're in the stage where we're balling and we get kills. Can we turn those kills into objectives, right? Can we turn them into objectives? And the answer by and large is no. That's because of our sustain, right? Skywrath was super low health, super low mana. Yeah, I'm low health, or low mana. I'll just show you that. Jug gets super lucky, buys his own, not lucky. Jug creates his own luck. Puts a sentry down, sees me next coming for him. What can you do? You can't kick a guy like that. I'll play to him. Yeah, I was saying taking objectives, right? And the point is, we have very little sustain. This is a lineup with high burst potential. Every one of their players has a lot of high burst potential, right? and repeated magic damage. So the only sustain we've got is earn. So that's basically why we're struggling to take towers. And you'll see that more pronounced as the game continues on. So right now at this point, this is another lull. We're just farming, going back, regaining our health and mana. This is the perfect time that you want to snipe couriers, right? Nothing else is happening. So when you do that, like I'll show you in other games where I do it more consistently. But this is like this is a nice sword. This is the nice spot. This is the spot you want to be. So I said this is the spot you want to be. I won't pause. It's really nice when you're playing bounty to have your own sentries, right? It creates a safe spot on the zone. You don't want to be consistent, always asking yourself, do the enemy have vision on me? You can answer that yourself. So when this engagement breaks out, I actually retreat back to that vision. I play too safe, I go way too far back, but the point is, right, I'm the vision hero. So I'm giving vision to my team, right? And they can now make the right calls themselves. Now, this is a 4-on-5 fight in our favour. This is a 5 for us, 4 for them. And that's because the Tinker's, right, doing nothing, right? It doesn't have his travels. This is sad for the Tinker because it's tilting. But in other games, it's going to happen in more subtle ways, right? So you always try to fight A, where you have vision, B, where you have tempo, where the enemy can't match you for numbers or power or stuff like that. So this is the way it manifests itself in this game, but the principles are the same in all games. So now we're actually able to take this tower, and these guys are good, so they look to pressure more. Jug is dead, Tinker doesn't have travels for the next 10 seconds. So look to pressure more, really good heads up play. So enemy team defending, unfortunately for them, not defending as a group. Still raging at each other, whatever. But we get a kill. In most scenarios from this point, 5 versus 3, this should be racks. This should be an easy racks, right? 12k lead, 5-3, easy racks. Not so. Not so because complete lack of sustain. The earn is the only thing that's really keeping us tuning. We get another kill in, but again, does it mean an easier tower? Only very slightly. We don't have a creep wave, right? Backdoor protection is back on. Invoker's now, really drained. Skywrath really drained. I'm really drained. We get a tower, and that's super nice. But you see the issue at hand, right? This is an issue for bounty you'll see in almost every game. So this is why a lot of bounties really like Greaves. Greaves kind of solves all your problems. It solves your mana, it solves your own personal safety to a degree, it solves everybody's health as a mech. Is it the most efficient? I don't think so. We'll talk about that in different sections of the Bounty Hunter Guide. But that's a really good example of why sustain on bounty is good. So yeah, we're in a really good point in the game. We fed a couple of kills, another couple of feed plays. Unfortunate, Axe dove on Tinker. He got 270 gold. He died. He gave away 600 gold. Unfortunate for us. Anyway, so a bit of downtime, collecting bounty runes, looking for couriers. Anytime a courier happens, anytime they go for towers. Especially after they want to fight, is when they... Actually, we'll see what was on the crew. Yeah, Perseverance, right? They want to fight, DK got some gold, he bought an item. Very common pattern you'll see when they send out the crew. So we get a kill on the Rubik, because they just overcommit. Yeah, nice turn of events. Feed play into feed play, pub dodo, right? It's just, is what it is. You can say it's only people who say it's only worthwhile to look at ideal scenarios. I think are a little bit crazy, divorced from reality. You know, this is a practical exercise more than anything else. So you want to look at, you know, what you will experience. Yeah, speaking of what you'll experience more shit talk. So, you know, slow that down and read that if you want. Oh, I'm dying. Where are my priorities, Dan? So, this ward that I've just placed is really good in this situation. You know, not just for sniping courier, you can get kills from it. So again, the situation, this is the pick-off that should lead into objectives, right? Right outside base with creeps. Fortunately, we don't. So at this point, it's worth noting, Jug is also... Tinker has tilted himself so badly that he's tilted his team. And Jug's starting to go 1 versus 9 mentality. Doesn't want to play with his team. Just farming up. So we get another kill. Another truck kill. Nice start. We get another kill. Can we take Rex? It's difficult. Tinker is a Dota 2 hero. It's difficult. So I've got a Spirit Vessel now. It's better than Earn. Better by that much. It's not enough. It's not complete. So I'll speed it up a little bit, and we'll just see how it goes out. So Jug obviously probably should be defending. It's not. Whatever. It's not the point of the video. Yeah, we don't get the racks off this. They do defend. But Deja Vu, they overextend, and we get a really sick axe score. And it's 3 kills. But with a creep wave in mid, can we take the bot racks? It's another question entirely. So, at risk of sounding like a broken record, we'll play it a little bit faster. Rages up. Spirit. We couldn't have done that without Spirit Vessel, at least. So yeah, we finally get the racks. Huzzah! Hooray! Great stuff all rounds. Pat on the back. Jug got a double damage and took Roche as well. So a bit of a trade. At least he got something. Good for you, Jug. So we'll fast play it again a little bit more. So all lanes are pushing. Obviously the right play for us is to be pressuring. Right, don't give the enemy a chance. Man, I really do hate playing into Lotus Orb this bounty. It's very annoying. So a bit of an ambitious play from us. We tried to get on the Tinker, right? He's the guy that we need to kill. But it's cost us 2 heroes. So it's stopped that push. Excuse me, right in its tracks. Yeah. So 30 minutes, we're approaching the final battle between good and evil. You'll see, point out the warding that we've got right now is pretty aggressive. This is like end game warding, right? You're drawing a line between, I love to draw lines between wards, right? This is closing off the map right here. We don't want to let them outside their base, unless we can kill them. This shouldn't happen, right? This is an avoidable death, and I'll show you why. Jug just pushes this wave, right? He's just shown on this wave, right? Where is he going to go with this Shadow Blade? Is he going to go bot? Probably not his intention. Tinker's pushing that out anyway. Is he going to walk into our jungle with Shadow Blade? That looks like a better play, right? So, we should A, see this coming, and B, I should be tanking this with him. I should be using my medallion on him, and I should be revealing myself by doing so. I don't do either of those, because I forget you can do that. So pretty unfortunate for Lifestealer. But because we've been active and we've been taking objectives, we've now got a really good gold lead. So we're not too afraid of taking the fight. We're a little bit afraid of taking the fight, but we're not too afraid of taking the fight. So what we've done here is taking the Aegis, wait for them to address the creep wave. What? Wait for them to address the creep wave, if I can enunciate. So you see, like in Dota, there's a lot of fluidity back and forth between pushing lands and stuff. Just wait for your timing, and you'll get that. Jug is now vulnerable. He's now alone, at least, if he's not vulnerable. I've got to slow that down, because this is really annoying playing Dewey Shadowblade, right? Or Jug Shadowblade. So if I am to initiate with track, right? What he's going to do is spin and then invis. He invises away from the invoker. So he can't invis twice, which means Sentry track, you got him. I'll do it a bit slower than you'd like, but you know what it is. So my role in these fights, right, is to keep control or track of tracking the Tinker. So Axe, fine. I'll go this a bit slow. It's worth looking at. So my role is to like earn the Tinker, track the Tinker, make so he can't do what he wants to. I don't do that. I go onto the Marana, and they're enabled to go on the Invoker. So I bought the pipe, and that is most certainly the item this game. Invoker is just enough time to delay. Axe finally shows up. I don't know why I really needed to narrate this. But we get another sick combo. So this is probably a really good example of team fighting as bounty, because you're seeing his role compared to other heroes' roles. His role isn't dealing the damage, it's keeping track of vision, right? It's enabling Axe to make a good call. It's preventing Tinker from being aggressive, though that's the role, right? And it complements really nicely with heroes that have A, control like Axe, and B, damage like Skarath. Invoker has both, so like that's beautiful. That's really nice. So yeah, do we? Yeah. No, just leave it up. Okay. So this is the end of the game. We've got enough sustain between some pipe and vessel now. Just walk high ground. I think I've talked about everything I want to. There's gonna be another probably 5 or more guides. There's gonna be 5 or more replays of my matches. And there's probably another 5 replays of professional or other high-ranking bounty hunter players on Dota Buff. Players who I think play a real nice bounty hunter. So watch out for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any feedback, let me know in the comments. Yeah, take it easy, guys. Cheers for watching.